So I'm really, really thankful for an opportunity to be able to share about our young people that are in the foster care system, especially those that have stories like Reagan. Reagan is a young lady who we met a few years ago. It's been more than a few years now. But Reagan was a young lady who was in college, and she had been aged out of the foster care system, and her and a few of her siblings, her biological siblings, were attending a college in North Carolina. I received a phone call because she was literally all alone. Her siblings could not take the pressure of not knowing the next day and being able to handle college and being on their own. But Reagan was determined. However, she had reached a point where this was it for her. She didn't know which was the next step or even if she was going to make it. With that, I received a phone call from the college and I contacted Reagan. And on our very first conversation, I said, Reagan, I said, listen to me, I'm here. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I said, and matter of fact, if you want to, you can call me grandma, like a lot of them. She said, Grandma, thank you so much. The reason why that meant so much is because when you can make that family connection with a young person who does not have family and assure them that no matter what, you're going to be with them, it makes the whole difference in the world. And that's exactly what happened with Reagan. Reagan had got to the point where even though she was in her third year of college, she was getting ready to drop out. The pandemic had hit. She had to get an apartment because so many of our young people who were in college but aged out of the system, literally had to scatter around this country when the college dorms closed. Now, we already were focusing on young people that when the Thanksgiving, Christmas, or the breaks, we were already working out what takes place with them. But to think an entire pandemic would hit this country and people like young people in foster care would not even be thought of. They would be a second, third, fourth, if even ever a thought. And here was Reagan, one of the ones in that mix. She had got an apartment, but she really could not afford it. So she went to one of the drive-in things where you drop off stuff like Amazon. And I think it was one of the ones where Uber Eats, one of those. And every dime she made went towards her rent until the day her car broke down. And when her car broke down, that meant she could not meet her rent. She didn't know which way to go, what to do. And I can remember when I was on the phone with her and she said, Grandma, I don't even know what my next step is. She said, I'm going to get evicted because they only give you a few days. She said, this is happening, that's happening. I picked up the phone and I called her landlord and I said, I'm not going to call you and tell you about her rent. I'm not going to call you and give you a reason why she's behind, but I want to tell you her story. And when I finished telling her story, that landlord, even though they go by the books nowadays, that landlord said, what can we do? And we were able to work with him, a few other organizations, and Reagan, and get her car back together and to get her back on the road and to get her rent paid. So I just want to say that because many of our young people that age out of the foster care system and do go to college, because that should be a next step. That next step should be afforded to them. They should not have to worry about how they're going to pay the rent, what's going to happen when the dorm closes. But if they have an opportunity to come from a non-family environment to a college, which not only do they have their peers there, but they would have somebody that's connected with them so that they know they have a success story. Now, I want to share this because you'll find a lot of society, when I'm saying society, I'm talking about the foster care system, you will see that they will say, oh yes, X amount went to college. But at 18 years old, when these young people age out of the foster care system, they've done their work. And if they get them into college, to them, that's a plus. But what happens when the next semester comes? What happens when they need items while they're in college? What happens when the dorms close? Who's calling them on their birthday? Who's making sure on Thanksgiving they're sitting at a family style table? Who's making sure they get gifts for Christmas? That's the question that I have to society. So when we look at our young people that are in the system and aging out, when we see them go to college, they're in, but less than 3% graduate from college. Why? For lack of housing, support, guidance, and finances. So they might get them into the system and go ahead and pat the back for getting them into the system. But what happens the day after their classes start? And that's one of the things that we make sure we do. We connect with them. Home4Me, a voice for teens in foster care. We connect with them while they are teenagers, and as they age out, our primary, or one of our primary goals, become their connection to college and their consistency through the whole college experience. They shouldn't have to worry about where they're going to go, who's going to pay the bill, where they're going to eat. They shouldn't have to worry about these things. Where's their refrigerator coming from? Who's going to do their laundry? Where are they going to get laundry detergent? They should not have to worry about these things. They ought to worry about getting that good grade, staying 4 years so that they might graduate college. And we sit right there and celebrate with them. So that's just an introduction. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. But our young people are so important to society. They are so gifted, talented, smart. And when they end up in that system, it is no fault due to their own. It is the fault of society that could not take care of them, or someone who could not take care of them. I'm not even blaming them, but I do blame society for making sure that they're not okay. And that's one of the things that we're making sure they're doing.
Well, hello, this is Don
Gina.
with Focused Healthy Family. And today, this is podcast number 51. And today we are talking to Donna Reed, and we're talking about foster care and adoption. But before we get to that, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Q Sciences. Don and I discovered that the supplements we were taking and giving to our children were not being absorbed properly. I was very excited when I found Q Sciences. I was impressed with the quality of the products and that they provide maximum absorption. They have a variety of products, including a Q Max product, which is a combination of 3 products, including vitamins, minerals, and a probiotic. They also have hemp oil, a vitamin B12 spray, a sleep spray, and kids products. I've really seen a difference in how these products are improving how I feel, improving my mental health, and I'm happy with the quality of these products and how they're helping our whole family. If you'd like to learn more,
Simply go to qsciences.focusedhealthyfamily.com. That's the letter Q, sciences.focusedhealthyfamily.com, and find out more information there.
and stop throwing your money away on supplements that don't work and use a quality product like Q Sciences.
And we're back. And today again, we're talking with Donna Reed. In 1998, as a single mom, Donna started a business with her 4 then teenage daughters named Tea Bags. I love that name because all the girls' names begin with T, and they were designing tote bags. The family used the concept and started a 501c3 organization, Tea Bags, Teach Boys and Girls Success, teaching entrepreneurship to teens. In 2016, using her own story and passion, Donna founded Home4Me, a voice for teens in foster care, a 501c3 organization raising awareness to what teens faced in foster care while taking care of the concerns of homelessness from teens aging out of the foster care system. So welcome, Donna.
Yes,
Thank you so much. And thank you for this platform and for raising awareness.
It's a privilege to have you here, and I'm just very inspired by all the work you have done and are continuing to do.
Well, in your story too, we'll talk about that too. Your own story being involved in that system too. I was kind of curious. Just a question popped up when you were telling that story. It's a really neat story. You talked about college. Do they also look at like the not college side of it, like the skill carpentry or, things, trade? Yeah, I was trying to think of the term. Thank you. Trade. Do you also look at that as part of it?
Absolutely. So we have a program called Leg Up on Life. LEG stands for Leadership, Entrepreneurship, and Grooming. LIFE stands for Living Skills, Innovative Choices, Financial Literacy, Educational Paths. The whole goal is to keep them on the path to their success, utilizing their skills and talents. So yes, we refer them to different trade schools, programs, that type of thing, make sure they're prepared for it. But our ultimate goal when they age out of the system, and our primary focus are the ones that are in college. And the reason why is because many programs that are out here that when you look at the trade, they can get that within 18 months, they can get that in a few years, and they're well on their way. And when I say that's wonderful, because again, utilizing their skills and talents will bring them to the level of the success, and they determine what that level is. However, when you are in college and your goal is to be a brain surgeon, an attorney, an engineer, those type of professions, when you are desiring to attend college, which by the way, 70% of teens in foster care desire to attend college, less than 3% graduate. And why is that? Because again, many programs that you see after foster care are 18 to 21-year-old programs. Now, if you tell me to look for an 18 to 21-year-old program, and my desire is to graduate college, you're getting ready to do the same exact thing to me that happened when I turned 18. At 21, you're done with me, and I haven't finished school, especially if I'm going to a 4-year institution, which is the goal. The goal is not a community college, or if it is, it's community college and then transfer to a 4-year. But we want the mindset and the desire that wants to attend a 4-year university to start off that way. And then we become that support. We make sure that they have those finances and that their college prep is all taken care of. That starts in high school. That starts before college. But if they are in college, we're still making sure they're on track. But can you imagine, once again, a young person who has shifted so many times as a youth, and now they may have stayed back. They may not have finished school at 18 years old. They may have stayed back because of one of those shifts. And now at 18, no matter where they are, they're still in school or not, they are told your resources are up. And I want to say this to your audience. We're not talking about the year they turn 18. We're talking about the day they turn 18. Wow. Happy birthday. Your resources just came to an end. Wow. Can you imagine what that's like? Can you imagine the mindset leading up to that?
Oh, yeah. Always thinking about it.
Yeah, 13 to 15 years old, they pretty much know chances of them being adopted is slim to none. 16 years old, the weight of the world begins to weigh on them. They got to start making some decisions because, mind you, they're still kids. And at 17 years old, they have 364 more days. Wow. And their resources come to an end.
Wow. And
with 23,000 plus teens aging out of foster care every single year in the United States of America, 20% will be instantly homeless on their 18th birthday. 40% will experience homelessness within the first 2 years of being aged out. This is society where we live.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You know, Richard, the gentleman we talked about, when he told us within 6 days they can become homeless, they could become prostitute, they could be trafficked. It was heart-wrenching to hear that kind of information and to know that this is going on.
Yeah, we've learned so much about the foster care system through the other interviews we've done, and that's just crazy that on their 18th birthday it ends. Our kids are on North Carolina Medicaid, and they at least get through the end of the month of their 19th birthday. So they get that much to have that health insurance. And it's just, it really bothers me to hear, that it literally ends on that, because a lot of kids turn 18 the beginning of their senior year of high school.
Mhm. And they may get them into something where they have the Medicaid and all of that, but if they don't have the mindset,
Right,
they don't have a plan in place,
right, they don't have support, they're
homeless, or they're out here trying to figure out the next step. Imagine what that does to your mind. Imagine what that does. Anxiety, depression. Imagine the things that set in when you are not sure, number one, what the next day brings, and you're a kid. You are still a child in my eyes, because when I turned 18 years old, I mean, I was a pretty mature 18 years old with the support and everything that I had, very mature 18. I knew nothing when it came to stepping out the door into society. And I found that out the moment I did.
Right.
And so I say this because I really want not only your audience, but every opportunity that we get to let somebody know that these young people are out here. They're in our churches, they're in our communities, they are all around us. And many times we don't know it because that's not something they want to broadcast. That's not something they want, known that I'm in this system. And so we might wonder, like, why are they going through this? Why are they acting like that? I spoke to a superintendent of schools because our goal is to go national. So anyone who hears this, we are working on our credentials in Connecticut right now. And when we want to spread again across this country, because it's happening across the country every single day. Not at the end of the year, like, okay, we got to scramble. What can we do for the kids at the end of the year? No, this is every single day one is aging out of the system. And so with that being the case, we want to make sure that we are able to reach these young people all across the country. So when they dial in, when they call in and say, this is what I need, that we have things set in those different places. And we have a place for them set in college. So one of our strongest connections is Livingstone College here in North Carolina. And Livingstone College has committed to us that if a young person comes there that is aged out of foster care system, they don't have to leave for the whole 4 years.
Wow.
They can stay right there. And it's not a dorm setting, it's a setting that feels like home. And so we are that connection. We are that connector and that connection to that commitment. And so again, we want to make sure that, again, just picture any of us 18. Oh, I can't wait till I turn 18. We're going to think we're so grown and all of this, even though we know we're not going anywhere, but it's still, it's just that feeling of being grown. But imagine being scared to turn 18. Imagine coming up on that date. And not knowing. But then imagine if you do know and it's all set and you've got someone there. And if something happened, I cannot tell you the times. I don't know if you all will know this or not, but I have 20 grandkids.
Wow.
And I cannot tell you my own daughters. I have 4 daughters. I can't even tell you how I still get phone calls. Ma, how do you do this? Mother, what do you think about this? What about this? And then imagine the grandkids. They don't want to hear from their parents. I don't care how great the news is. They will call grandma and they will say, Grandma, okay, so my mother thinks this, but can you tell me about this? And they will skip over them and they will make that call. You've probably heard that saying that says, grandparents saying, I wish I had the grandkids first.
Yeah.
And then you hear the kids complaining. You hear the kids complaining about, look how you do. You let them get away with everything, But what grandma is a safety net. Because if they're mad at you, they can call grandma. And grandma's going to give them that good advice. Grandma's going to be on your side. We're just going to say it a little different. We're going to say the same thing you're saying. We're going to back what you say if you're right. If you're right, you heard me. And then we are going to make sure they're on the right track. And that's why most of the kids in the program call me grandma, because what does that do? That makes a connection. That makes a family style connection. to someone they may not have.
Mhm.
Our mentors are called cousins. I'm calling my cousin instead of my mentor. You know, some of them, they too big, you know, too good for, you know, they mentor. I don't need a mentor, but everybody needs that cousin that they can call on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have, so let me share a little bit about this.
Yes.
Leg Up on Life, we meet with the young people. So let me back up a little bit. Home4Me stands for home stands for hope, opportunity, mentoring, and education. So again, providing everything that they need. We have an initiative called Together We Win. It says college, community, corporate, and church. Together, we can provide everything our young people need as they are in the system and as they age out of the system. We become their family. We become the training, the jobs. We become the home style events, the family style events. We become that to them, which keeps them connected to us. Because once again, when they go from one place to the other, that's a disconnect from where they were. And then now they have to connect with where they're going. And one of the things that happens, and I'm going to talk about all of us out here right now, we will say, you will hear this more too often. I don't know about the older ones, you know, they kind of set in their ways and yeah, I don't know about that. Well, actually, no, we're set in our ways. And when they come, then we want them to adjust immediately to our ways. And if they don't, we say they got the problem. But it's actually, we have the problem, not understanding what they've been through.
Right.
And so if we can become that connector and remain that connection throughout their teenage years, right into their adulthood, then they've got a place. They got a place that they can call. They have a place that they can be safe. They've got events, that type of thing that we have. We have a lot of family style events. So Leg Up on Life is that connector. It's the life skills, it's all of that. But what we focus on is what are their individual skills and talents? What is it that you like to do? What is it that you want to do? What do you want to be? And we keep them on that road. And so again, the leadership, entrepreneurship, and grooming. All of our young people start some sort of business, either a product or a project.
Wow.
They set goals. When they set those goals, then we help them reach those goals. They're going to reach the goals, I guarantee you. Then we launch those businesses every year in May. May, we have an event called Sharing the Love. We do it around Mother's Day because guess what? Imagine what they're going through Mother's during that time. They don't have their mothers in their lives for what various reasons. So we share the love with them. But at that event, which is fun, it's active, it's food demonstrations, healthy food. We focus on being healthy. It's jump rope, double dutch. Oh my God, you name it, and it's out there, fun activity. Well, what they don't realize, not only are we sharing love with you and showing you, you know, that we do love you, but you're getting exercise, you're eating good, you're having fun, you're making connections, you're with peers, you know, that your age and that type of thing. So they launch these businesses with the goal of minimal $100. We make sure they make it, believe me. So we have a youth entrepreneurial marketplace at the May 6th event.
Wow.
And after they make that money, anything over that, it goes in their pocket. But the $100 opens up an account and says, now we go into financial literacy so that we can teach you how to grow that money. We can teach you how to earn, save, carefully spend. And so that you know these things as a young person, so you don't do what I did and many others, go get a job, pay the bills, make ends meet, hope you live the next paycheck. So we want to make sure that they understand investing, they understand, but they also are grasping, hold on, this is something I like to do. These are my skills and talents that they have on a road to this, you know, to success.
Right.
And then again, all of this, and we're also teaching them eat good, stay healthy, because you have to be healthy. We're teaching all of those things while we are moving down this road. Then part of our program is called Connect Generations, so that we are working with generations, older generations, because guess what? What fun is it if they're only around them or only around us, right? No, it's a family reunion every time we have something. And so you can, you have your seniors. And guess what? Those seniors sometimes need to know how to use your phone. They'll teach you that. What do you mean they changed this already? Here's how you use it. So they do that. And then when we do have these workshops, that generation is there to say, hey, this is how it used to be. This is what you want to do. And then remember, in society, because I think I read this on your website, the sandwich.
Yes.
You've got them, that are saying, what? You're saying I got to adjust to something. I come this far in life. Now I got to go back and adjust all of this. Then you got the young ones come out of the womb telling you to order Uber Eats, right? Order it off of Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And so they can teach, the other one. So you have the generations that say, what? This is what family looks like. This is what it looks like to learn from one another. This is what it looks like for all of us to be together. I'm not looking at you because you're retired and maybe over here, or you're just retiring and don't know what to do with your life, because that's another whole change that they have to go through.
Right.
But I tell you what, if people ask me, do you need help? Do you need volunteers? Yes, we do. Tell me what you do. Oh, I retired from this. Well, retirement just means the next thing you need to do, and you call the right person, because we put them on it with these young people. But again, the goal is for them to be healthy, mentally, emotionally, spiritually healthy. And as they are feeling safe and secure, knowing that everything is going to be all right, and then connecting people with them. So just a quick circle. Leg Up on Life, we meet with them once a week, right? We meet with some of them in person, some are on Zoom because they may not be close by. A mentor calls them. For the ones that are less than 16 and less, we have a college student that calls them. That's their mentor, their peer. Because where are we heading them? We're heading them to college, right? So get that feel now. And then the college students all have mentors, so that wherever they're headed in life, they have professional mentors. And so we make sure the whole circle is there. Where do we get these mentors from? College, community, corporate, church. How do we provide everything? College, community, corporate, church. That includes everybody. Tell me what part where you're involved one way or another. So that initiative. Now, here's another thing, unless y'all have a question, because
Well, Donna, I wish you would show more passion in this. I mean, it's just, we can, we'll head out. You just keep talking.
Because I can.
No, it's wonderful.
You've dived into all of this, and I just have to say I love the whole family idea, and that grandma and that the mentors are cousins, and just providing that environment, because I can only imagine what it's like for foster kids of being shuffled around from home to home and not feeling like they belong anywhere, and then bam, you're 18, it's supposed to be an exciting birthday, and instead you're kicked out on the street, right?
Exactly. And then we have our aunties and uncles as well. Those are those, that middle generation. But we got the grandmas, the middle generation, and then we have the cousins. But I'm glad you said birthday, because I wanted to share with you a few of the events that we have during the year annually.
Okay.
All of these young people.
Yes.
So we do have an annual birthday party, especially for them.
Oh, wow.
Because the majority of them have never had a birthday party designed just for them. Now, for me, I couldn't wrap my head around that. But when I thought about it, The first year we started Home4Me, the first thing I wanted to do was have a birthday party. I said, well, hey, let's have a birthday party, because who's having one for them? And I'm telling you, it is amazing. Again, nothing but fun. They all get their individual cake, a balloon, a card designed just for them. They all receive gift cards. We give them all kind of gifts. And I'm gonna tell you about the gifts in a minute. And then again, it is just fun. We call out what month, and then we have tug of war. I mean, we do all kinds. It's just a fun. So that is a giant birthday party,
Wow.
balloons, everything that we have every year.
When do you have that?
It's in August every year. Okay. And then at that event, if anybody needs anything for going back to school, we cover that, but it is a birthday party. Okay. Now, then in December, we have something very similar for the holidays. And then we do the same thing, but it's indoors. Now during the pandemic, we didn't miss anything. We did have it outside during the pandemic. And when I tell you we prayed for a nice day and God gave it to us, we had it right outside. We didn't miss anything. Then we have the Sharing the Love event that I just said. And then we have a golf tournament. Now the golf tournament, what it does is a few things. We have the golf tournament, of course, as a fundraiser, but we're also teaching these young people how to play golf, because this is an opportunity that many of them are not, privy to.
Right.
So we teach them how to play golf, because where's business taken care of on the golf course? And so we teach them that. But then we also have the Because of You luncheon. And we have Because of You luncheon in June with the golf tournament. And then we have the Because of You Gala, which is in September at the National Family Empowerment Conference that we host, which is bringing together resources and organizations that empower and impact the family with foster teens.
Wow.
And so that's a major event that we have every year. Now, let me go back to what we give them at these events.
Okay.
One of the things that we give all of the young people are a bed in a bag. A bed in a bag. Some people might say, what? A bed in a bag has everything in it for a bed. Sheets, everything. We make sure not only that, they have a pillow. Why? I just said, and I'm sure you've heard, they are shifted, some of them many times while they are in the system. Can you imagine what it feels like you're already walking into somebody else's facility, somebody else's room, somebody else's mattress, somebody else's pillow? No, we make sure they have their own. And when they leave, and I don't know if you've heard this part yet or not, but you can Google this. When kids are shifted from place to place, they are given a black garbage bag. Gather your stuff, you gotta go. Most of the time, they don't even know why they're having to leave. So imagine with that anxiety or what that's feeling like, then to be given a black garbage bag and saying, put your stuff in here.
Right.
They feel equated to garbage. This is how you're treating me. Time to take the garbage out. So we make sure that they all have suitcases, nice suitcases filled with towel sets, sheet sets, umbrella, things we take for granted, gift cards, resources, and we make sure that they have a brand new suitcase so that when they do have to pack, they are packing and moving with dignity and not with a black garbage bag. And so these are items that we give for the birthday, for the holidays and all of that. And then again, that gift card is so important. And I'll tell you why, because many, who I want to say all, but I'm going to say too many, the majority are given everything we want to give them. They get what we give them. When do they get to go get what they want? So every event, we give them gift cards so that they can go get what they want. What if their hair is not the texture of the toiletries somebody decides to give them?
Mhm.
What if their skin is not what the lotion we gave them is? So we don't give them toiletries. We give them that. What if they want a pair of sneakers? What if they want a top that they want? And then one of the reasons why the suitcases we give them and everything we give them is brand new, because all of their lives they have been given hand me down and hand me over. And that won't be anything they can say coming from us. We get phone calls. I have a slightly used suitcase. The very first time I went to go pick up a slightly used suitcase, I cannot tell you how my tongue was chewed up from me not saying what I really wanted to say to the person who gave it. I couldn't believe it. And I looked down and they said, yeah, because we heard that foster kids need. And I said, yes, you did. They need something that people know cared. They don't need something that you just didn't want, has been in your basement, has been in your attic. They need something that they know that the person who gave it to them cared. I said, so I won't be taking this. And the person said to me these words, well, can you drop it off at the women's shelter down the street? I said, no, I will not, because I feel the same way about them as I do about our kids. And so from that point on, I told anyone that gets a call and says slightly used, just let them know we are so, so thankful, but we only give them brand new because they deserve it. And so people understand that. So organizations will get together, churches will get together. When we have events, we tell them, look, we need bed in a bag, we need sheet sets, we need towel sets, and they come nice. The other thing, in the winter, we want to make sure they have a blanket. Why? Because they can't control the temperature where they are. We would rather them kick off a blanket because it's too hot than to not have one in their cold. So we make sure that they have blankets. It's the little things that we take for granted that we make sure our family members have.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's just a little bit of some of the events.
A little bit.
The family style events. And it's so key for us. When we have like the gala I was telling you about, we don't do the name tags and seating arrangements. No, because that's not what you would do when they come to your house to eat. So you sit wherever you want to sit. Even the people speak, even the speakers. I don't care if you're a person that we had come there and would treat you with honor, just like we do everyone else that walks in that door. But there's no special seating or any of that. I might be sitting somewhere in the back or in the middle of the room because we are all family. And then I do want to share this. My mother, when I say mother, I'm talking about my mother who walked into an orphanage in her mid-40s. And took one look with me being a toddler in an orphanage, called my father and said, Freddie, we're about to have a little girl. They became the parents that I did not have. I became the little girl that they did not have. And they became the whole difference in my life. And when I think about my mother and the things and she has done for me and my father, I say these words: because of you, I can, because of you, I will, because of you, I did, and because of you, I am who I am today. And that is why the awards that we give out and the two names of the luncheon and one the gala is called Because of You. Because somebody out there, we want these young people to say, because of you, I made it through college. Because of you, I have this. And all of us can wear that title. All we have to do is just be there for one of these young people that need us. And they all need us.
I'm getting chills with that.
Yeah, because it touches upon
It's just your own story and just the impact that you and this organization have had on so many young people. And you're here in Charlotte, which there's times like this when I feel very proud to live here in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I love that you're taking it nationally because obviously it's needed throughout the entire country. Just to back up a little more, just how you got into growing Home for Me and just a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. So when I had a wonderful upbringing, I can't even think of anything that I would say that I was lacking. I mean, from food, toys, discipline, you name it, I had everything. But when I turned 18, I thought I was grown. And so I left home. And so I wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm time to pack up and leave. My mother and father were very upset. They did not want me to go because they had taught me so much and sheltered and me as their daughter. They knew what was out there. I didn't. But grown me, who thought I was so grown, went from Hartford, Connecticut to Beaufort, South Carolina on a Greyhound bus. When I got there, I called home collect, of course, from a telephone booth to tell them that I had made it safely. My mother said, in the 40 years I've been married to your father, I never seen him cry until you stepped out that door. She said, you think you're so grown? You go figure it out. And she hung up.
Oh, wow.
At that point, I stood there with a telephone receiver in my hand, afraid to hang it up and disconnect from everything I ever knew, from everything I could fall forward to and everything I could fall back on. Now, they were only mad for 5 minutes, but I didn't know that I was afraid to call back collect. So when I stepped out of that telephone booth, I was determined to be successful, but I was scared beyond words. I faced someone trying to human traffic me. I faced the abuse. I faced those things. But at the ripe old age of 18, 5 days before I turned 19, I married someone who said that he would cherish me for the rest of his life. And I repeated those words back to him. He didn't know nothing about being a husband. I knew nothing about being a wife except for what I witnessed with my parents. And here we are together, 19 pregnant, 21st baby, 21 second baby, 22 third baby, 23 single parent, because he was abusive. He would beat me up every day and beat me down every night. And I literally had to escape from him with 3 babies. I was uneducated because I didn't go to college like my parents wanted me to. And so I'm escaping literally from him. And when I did, my mother said, you need to come back home. And so when I got back home, got back to Connecticut, when I got back there, only to find out my mother now at a young age, because I think my mother was in her 60s or something like 60, had been diagnosed with Alzheimer. We didn't really know what that was. I didn't really know what it was. But here I am taking care of 3 babies, trying to go back to college, taking care of my parents. So what soothed me was a bottle. So I began to drink, didn't think nothing of it, drank a little bit to calm down before one day I looked up and it had more control over me than I had over it. So now I'm dealing with taking care of my children, taking care of my parents, and now trying to keep a straight and narrow with myself. Nobody knew I was drinking the way I was, but I had faced all of the things that these young people are facing when they age out of the system. I ended up on the welfare system. I went back and got my degree, a business degree. But while I was in college, embarrassed to be on welfare, I had one thing going for me. I had my parents who always instilled in me that I could be anything I wanted to be. I could achieve anything I set out to do. I could do anything I set my mind to. And I had gifted hands. I had creativity. So I took my skills and my talents and I began to make crafts till I literally crafted my way off of the welfare system. Went to work for a short period of time and then stepped out on faith into my own business. Before, I tell you, it was before the word entrepreneur, because back then people didn't even want to ship stuff to a residence and call it a business. But here I was determined that society, who was trying to tell me to go to the projects and stay on welfare, they told me there were places I couldn't even rent because they were saying, you're not going to be able to pay the rent, or you're not going to be, or your kids are going to tear up the house. And I was determined that that was not going to be my story, nor my kids' testimony. So literally handcrafted my way off of welfare, began to start the business, and never looked back. And then God gave me the vision of these 2 little stick figures on the front of a tote bag. And this is when my girls now were teenagers. And I incorporated them because, y'all, it's just me. It's just me and you. So my kids, I used to do craft shows. My girls were underneath the table and I was conducting business on top of the table. And people, and most of the places, this is when I lived in Connecticut, most of the places, matter of fact, all the places, I was the only Black. And my kids were again under the table. And my craft, the crafts I used to make were so professional looking that people used to ask me, who made these? And when I would say I made them, I would get these funny looks until I realized, Donna, it doesn't matter who made them. What matters is that they buy them. So people used to say, who are you selling these for? And I was smart enough to say, the Feed the Reed Foundation, because I got to feed these little reeds up underneath this table. And if that's what's going to get you to buy it, I don't care who you think made it or who you think I'm selling it for. I just need you to purchase it. And I literally handcrafted my way again off of the welfare system. But then I started incorporating my girls as they got a little bit older. Like, okay, I need y'all to do this. I need y'all to do that while I'm making these crafts. And then when God gave me the vision of the 2 little stick figures on the front of a tote bag, and the girls were teenagers, almost teenagers at the time. And I incorporated them. And I kept saying, girls, this is something you all can do. Because again, they were teenagers, but you know how kids are. Yeah. Well, I made them do 30 bags for a craft show I was doing. They sold out the first day. And that's when they caught the vision. So because all my daughters' names begin with the letter T, then they decided to name them tea bags. And then when they got a little bit older, and mind you, as they were teenagers, it was like when you look around for teenagers, you don't see camps and that kind of thing, for at least back then. So we started doing a summer camp, age appropriate to my girls, because they're all like right in a row. They were 13, 14, 15, and 16 at the time. We started this summer camp and we were just doing teenagers. And so that's when we started Teach Boys and Girls Success. And we were teaching entrepreneurship and the family concept.
Wow.
And so after that, the girls, they were doing good, and then they were, and everything, and they were going to school, and then they wanted to get jobs. So I said, yeah, go get a job. You'll see the difference from working for yourself and getting a job. I want you to go get a job. So they went and got jobs, but then they stayed involved, which was the blessing. They stayed involved with the camps and all of that, until one day, my passion that hit me when I was 18 years old, standing in that telephone booth. And I said, if there was ever anything I could do for a young person aging out of foster care, I wanted to do it. So in 2016, it hit me and I was reminded of that. And that's when we kicked off Home4Me and started focusing on just teens that were in foster care. And then the rest is history. Incorporating the passion, the kids, and then doing what we were doing back then, the family concept.
I wanted to, at this point, talk about how best somebody could find you. I'll have it up on the description, or on the description of the podcast itself, but I figured here's a good time for you to be able to say some of the best ways for them to get involved, for them to find you, to find out more information.
Absolutely. You can go to the website, home4me.org. HOME4me.org. There you can make donations, because again, we are always in need of the bed in the bags, all of the items that we give, the suitcases, and if anybody knows anything, they have gotten really expensive, and and we give new. And or anything else, that we do, the events and that type of thing. And the scholarships for the kids to be able to attend, and then for us to be able to provide for them for college. Now, it doesn't cost them anything, but it does cost us, to continue to provide. So that's one way, home4me.org. If you would like to contact us directly, you can contact 704-567-5118. That's my office, 704-567-5118. If you have any questions or, want to reach us that way. And then again, on the website, you'll see email addresses and all of that. But again, we encourage you to just learn about what these young people are going through, what takes place with them after, and just know these are some of the greatest kids you'll ever meet. The opportunities just have to open up for them so that they know they're not alone and they know that someone is there. One of the things I do want to stress is that we are very, very careful. We do not tell people, broadcast where our events are, because we're keeping them protected. And and also the same with pictures. We have other young people that attend the events, and so that they're not always in the same environment, like, oh, okay, I know all of us are in foster care. No, we have some of the young people from the churches that come to the events so that they can, be with their peers and stuff. So some of the pictures you see may be some of those young people that are there, but you can believe that we average 120 per young people in foster care per event that we have. Wow. And so if you know any young person that's aging out of the system, let us know. They really would benefit from the Leg Up on Life program. They really would. And we call it an experience because the word program bothers me. Because again, they always have to look for the next program, and that's not fair to them. Yeah.
Well, Don, I have to say, I've known you for quite a while here, and I've always admired you. I hear what you did as far as your kids and being a single mom, all this stuff you do some wonderful stuff. And I'm so glad that you were able to come on with us and spend time in your busy schedule with us. So thank you so much for being part of this.
Thank you, Don, in any time, because I appreciate you and any, again, opportunity we have to raise awareness and spread the news of, what they're doing. I mean, and just what they need, which is love and support.
That's our podcast for today. We hope you've enjoyed it. We would love to hear from you. Make sure to leave us a comment. If you like what you heard today, you can learn more about Donna and our parenting coaching program or our next workshop by going to www.focusedhealthyfamily.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Focused Healthy Family, Instagram at Gina at Focused Healthy Family, and on our website, you'll be able to find this podcast series and our blog. And remember, how you speak to your children shapes their future. All right.